Commissioner George Salgian, Deborah Vanison, David Collins, Steve Stevenson, Jeff Fayu, Stephen Berber.
Any chance for the public to make any comments on anything that is not on our agenda this evening? A limit of 5 minutes. Is there anybody that would like to make a comment to the commission? Seeing none, we'll to approval of meetings from our previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Let's see, are we voting on the machine here? There we go. Okay, the minutes are adopted. At this point, I'll take a minute just to explain our procedure. We're going to open a public hearing very shortly, and when we do that, we have a procedure. I will announce the item to be heard. City staff will present a report and recommendation, and then I'll open public discussion on that. If you wish to testify, raise your hand. I'll recognize you. You can go to the podium and state your name and your address. The order of the testimony is the applicant, those in favor then, and then those in opposition, and the applicant has a chance to rebut. After all the testimony is taken, I will close the public hearing. We'll have some discussion and we will discuss the item amongst ourselves. You have the right to appeal, but make sure that if you're interested in any further appeal or any communication with the city, that you've signed in at the back there. Great, thanks. I still have to explain the process just in case. Okay, very good. Director Zeidevart, would you care to inform us about the item that we're looking at this evening?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners. This is a little bit of a housekeeping item we do every year. This is our annual development agreement review. It's where we look at the development agreements that are still considered current. We go through the development agreements, make sure that the developers or applicants are in good compliance or in with the development agreements that are still active, and then render a report to the city council that the commission would forward. So we have currently there's about 57 development agreements that are on this list that I've given you. 7 of those are considered still active. So we have about 7 active development agreements that we monitor. 5 of them are entirely residential projects, as you can see kind of on the map also that was attached to the staff report. 3 of those residential developments are 100% built out. So there's no active building going on within the development agreements, but we do let them run their duration of the development agreement time because there's still things that in the development agreement that run the whole course of the development agreements plus the entirety in perpetuity. For instance, setbacks and things for houses would never expire if there's certain things that are explained in the development agreement that are allowed that way. So there's the 3 of them that are 100% built out. Silverstone subdivision, the Vineyard subdivision, and Alexandra Place. Like I said, those are listed on the map for you. And 2 of them that are residential haven't started yet. We have 2. One that's actually the Meadowwood subdivision. It's basically just north of the freeway here along Fulton Avenue between Fulton and Goodwin. Medium density project that has about 88 lots. The developer's still actively trying to find a builder to start that project. And then the other one is the Pereira subdivision. It's actually kind of on the corner of North Ripon and Bosch Drive. That is a low density single family house development with 47 lots. Again, the developer is looking for a builder for that one as well. Really haven't had anybody lined up yet for that. One of the development agreements on the list is a mixture of commercial and residential. It is the Ripon Gardens 2 development agreement. It's basically it's American Social Restaurant that sits out there on River Road. There is a corner parcel that's still open for development there on River Road in North Ripon. And then the last development agreement that's still considered active is not really a residential or commercial. It is the Calvary Church master plan. Calvary Church did come in some time ago and put together a development agreement for a master plan for their church campus. And then a couple years ago, it was extended another 15 years for them to continue kind of that expansion. So that kind of concludes the list of the development agreements you have that are active. Like I said, staff did go through those and did determine that the developers are in compliance in good faith with the terms of the agreements. And there's a recommended action in your staff report that the commission would make a recommendation to the city council with that in mind. So I would be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Does anyone?
Ken, I'm kind of curious on, particularly the Perea subdivision, since it's only, what, 47 lots?
Mhm.
And I don't think this is anything that the planning department does or the planning commission does, but I'm thinking they could maybe move forward if they would maybe just sell the lots as custom lots instead of trying to find one builder.
You know, we have a lot of discussions with a lot of developers when they come in about doing some custom lots because there's a pretty big interest in
Right.
custom lots. The hard part with that is it gets down to them putting all the infrastructure in, putting a lot of money out, and then selling a lot one by one versus maybe more like a tract home builder coming in and being able to control how fast they build the houses and typically sell them. So this one here, they're looking for a kind of a tract home builder to come in and do more of an upscale, um, semi-custom type tract home. They're with the costs that are associated with the lots and the land and the improvements there. You're looking at a fairly decent sales price for someone to come in and actually make that one pencil out. So I do believe there'd be some really nice homes, but yeah, there really wasn't a whole lot of interest in doing any customs with that.
Well, with that, I guess I would open and close the public hearing. You gentlemen don't want to speak, I take it. So we can move on to any further discussion here or take an action on this matter. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll move that we agree there has been compliance in good faith with the terms and conditions of all the respective development agreements and direct the staff to prepare a written report to the city council.
Okay, we have a second. You click the vote button and then the second button as well, please. And that is the development agreement annual review is adopted for 2023. From there, we just move to reports. Mr. Zeidenbach.
Yes, just to give you guys a couple quick updates. We did have another agenda item that was being planned for this agenda. The applicant asked that we move that item to the next available meeting because of a conflict. They couldn't make the meeting here tonight. So we agreed to go ahead and move that for them. We're looking at the December meeting, which I believe is the 18th, December 18th. So we tentatively have that scheduled for the 18th, unless they want to slide that some more or pull that item. The other kind of open project that we have is the extension request for the battery storage project. We did receive comments back on the reports that they submitted from the consultant. Staff's going through those comments and such right now with the city attorney. We will be forwarding those comments on to the applicant so they can address some of the comments or concerns from the consultant's report. And then we will be bringing that to the commission for decision on that extension request. More than likely, that one would probably hit in January. We do need some time to get through those and get back to the consultant, or the applicant might have to adjust some of the reports a little bit to answer some of the questions that were brought up. So that one's kind of in the pipeline as well. And so those are the couple projects that we have right now.
So most likely we will have December, January meeting.
Most likely.
Good.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
No, just a lot of building going on around town. I would just encourage you guys to get out and see some of the projects being built. We do have several going on by Tractor Supply, and then there's the car wash over by the Save Mart Shopping Center. The hotels, there's 2 hotels that were approved this last year. One of them over by Angle Petroleum on the Main Street exit there. They're slated to get started. They've indicated they want to start sometime in January on that project, and we're still kind of going through plan check. It's gone through a few plan checks already, but the one over here by Flying J. So have not issued the permits yet for those, but the one, like I said, by Angle indicates they want to start in January.
Very good. Do we have any commissioners that would like to report anything? Thanks, guys, for coming tonight. This is a very brief meeting since our main item that was on our agenda was postponed, but we appreciate the audience. Thank you for coming. Yeah, please.
So the hotel is not putting that in, but the city does have a grant, and we are moving forward with the signal for that intersection. I'm not sure about the timing on that. I'd have to check with engineering on when the timing is. I know they're in design. They have a consultant that's doing some design phase on the intersection now. I just don't know the exact timing of when the hotel would be done and that signal would be finished.
Why don't you come take the podium?
My name is Michael Muska, 1127 Azalea Street in Ripon. So with regard to the Ripon Garden 2, will that development, when it's completed, will that include the removal of the roundabout and installation of a controlled intersection?
2.
Yes, in Ripon Garden
I
2.
don't know the answer to that. Ken, could you provide?
Yeah, so after that intersection here at the Main Street exit, that's the next intersection the city's looking at to put a signal. So the city is looking at that as a capital improvement project to get a signalized intersection where I guess call the stop about is.
So is that a city CIP or will
Yeah.
that be?
That'll be a city CIP.
Okay. And then just one other question with regard to the proposed development just on the other side of the freeway. What was the name of that one?
The Meadowwood.
Meadowwood, thank you. Has it been considered to put a controlled intersection at the corner of Wilma and Archway, or, you know, the one I'm
Yeah.
talking about there? Yeah. Thank you, Fulton Arc, yeah. Because I'm sure you all know that's a mess in the morning. It's a very difficult and dangerous intersection.
So that is not a condition of the housing project because that's a little bit more north of that, but it is a condition in the North Point specific plan when some of the properties in that vicinity of that intersection develop. So just on the other side where that house is with the barn and such, that canal would be underground, and then a roundabout, something similar to the size of the clock tower roundabout, would be put over there to control traffic a little better and make it a little bit safer intersection and be able to maneuver a little bit more traffic through there.
Thanks. And just one more point. There are very few bike lanes in the city, bicycle lanes in the city. And being a bicyclist on occasion, I cross over either the Wilma overpass or whatever you call it, that one, or the Main Street overpass. And neither of those have bike lanes. In particular, the one that goes over Wilma, very dangerous. There's very little room for bicycles there. So if you could consider bicycle lanes for any of those, whether it's be expansion, which I know is difficult, or possibly even marking a bike lane there, that would be helpful. It's
Under advisement.
Yeah.
future.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you. And feel free next time just to jump in when we open the public
Yeah, I
hearing.
will.
That would be the appropriate time. Thank you. With anything else, I think we can go ahead and adjourn.